When DJI first released the Inspire 1 back in 2014, it was an instant hit. For the first time ever, filmmakers finally had a professional cinematography drone that was ready to fly straight out of the box. But that was almost 3 years ago. So now the company is back with a new and improved version, the Inspire 2. What sets this apart from other drones that DJI has released previously is the fact that it really just has two of everything. So it's got two batteries, it has two cameras, it has the camera that you shoot with and also an FPV camera. It also has two IMU sensors, inertial motion units. It has two barometers, it has two processors or multiple processors. The benefit of having two batteries is that not only does it give you more time to fly around and get great footage, but also it can power more processors and power more sensors, which makes the drone smarter overall. So because it has all of these great processing abilities, DJI actually built in a few more smart, intelligent flying modes. And what that allows you to do is focus less on flying the drone itself and where you're heading and focus more on what you're shooting, which is fantastic. It used to be that if you wanted to capture really good-looking drone footage, you usually had to use two pilots. You'd have one person control the drone and the other person worry about what was on the camera. But when you get all of these extra smarts on the drone itself, that allows you to step back from worrying about controlling the drone and focus on the camera, or do it in the opposite fashion. You can let the drone take care of the camera work, whereas you worry about where it's flying. And that opens up a bunch of different possibilities for what you can do with it. So a good example of this is after we got this drone, we took it out for one of the car reviews that we do here at Digital Trends. And it was just me and a driver, and I was sitting in the passenger seat. And what I could do was use DJI's active track system to basically lock the camera onto the car and then just fly the drone, dodge trees, and it would keep the car perfectly in frame. And I could fly wherever I wanted, 360 degrees, and not have to worry about keeping it in frame or keeping the light levels correct or anything like that. The drone could take care of all of that for me. The other great thing is that if you do want to worry about the camera and have the drone fly itself, it has this really great system where there are actually two cameras that you can look at. You can split your screen on your tablet so the main picture is what you're shooting, and then there's also an FPV camera on the front that allows you to see where the drone is going. And you can kind of have this picture-in-picture screen on your tablet and monitor both of those things at once. This makes it possible to multitask while you fly. So you can not only keep an eye on what the drone's flying into, but also keep an eye on what the camera's shooting and whether or not the shot looks good. It's also quick enough for the first time ever to keep up with a car going at like highway speeds. Other drones would usually slow down a little bit. They can only hit like 45 miles per hour, but we were flooring it in this car we were reviewing, and the drone was keeping up, which was pretty cool. The thing I really liked about it was the fact that right out of the box, it feels exactly like every other DJI drone I've ever flown. It feels a little bit heavier in the air because it is heavier, so it's not going to slow down as quickly, it's not going to turn on a dime like some of the others are, but in terms of responsiveness, it's exactly the same as every other DJI drone. And that's pretty great. That's a cool thing that even if you've never flown this particular drone before, and maybe you've flown a Phantom 3 or something even before that, or a Mavic, you can pick up this bigger, nicer drone and feel right at home. So the base model of this drone, without a camera or anything, is $3,000. And if you put one of the nice ZenMuse cameras on it, it can go up to around $5,000. This isn't necessarily something that hobbyists are just gonna pick up. But if you're looking for a professional aerial videography drone that works right out of the box, the Inspire 2 is definitely something that should be on your radar.